If I win, you are 3 days away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks, the brightest economic future. If we lost this election, I think the market would go down the tubes. I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately. A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper. It'll all happen very quickly. This will rapidly drive prices down. My plan will leave the typical family with many thousands of dollars more than they have right now. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down.
This is not what I voted for at all, Donald Trump.
He voted for Donald Trump, she supported Donald Trump, and now she sits in an ICE detainment center. This is the breaking news story of Camilla and Bradley.
My medication, it runs $20,000 a month without insurance. I make $800 a month. Oh, that will kill me. That would kill my friends. That would kill millions of people in this country if they lose their health care.
Well. Looks like reality is setting in for the MAGA crowd. The same folks who once chanted Daddy Trump like superfans at a concert are now standing in the cold, wondering why their wallets are empty and why the rest of the world is looking at us like we just crashed the family car. Who could have predicted this? Oh, that's right. Anyone with basic critical thinking skills. It's only been 2 months since Trump 2.0 took the wheel, and somehow he's already outdone himself. The economy is in a free fall. Our international relationships are a complete disaster. And the country is so divided that even Thanksgiving dinner feels like a full-scale battlefield. It's like watching a sequel that's even worse than the original, except this time everyone's paying the price.
It's time to speak up. Well, it appears the joke's on me. It appears I have been the biggest fool alive. You see, before the last couple of days, I knew that there was a segment of MAGA who just hated, who just wanted to burn the world down, and they don't care who they hurt. In the meantime, I knew there was that section, but I really thought that most of MAGA just didn't get it. I really thought they just didn't understand. They didn't understand economics because it's complicated. They hadn't studied Project 2025, so they didn't know what was coming. But I really thought when he got in there and started doing the things that hurt so many people, that they would realize and that they would, but they don't care. Y'all have been telling me this for 2 months, and I kept saying, no, we just have to explain it to them. We just have. Now, I know there are a few, and I thank you guys. You make it worth sticking with this. But over the last couple of days, I have realized that the majority of Republicans do not care how many people are hurt. And they are exactly what Palpatine said. They're the ones he was talking about when he said he could unalive someone in public and they would still vote for him. I thought they just wanted lower egg prices. I thought they were struggling in the economy and it was hard and they wanted their lives to be easier, and they listened to that. And that's why they voted for him. But they don't care. They literally don't care how many other people in this world are hurt. See, the difference is I'm willing to pay more for my eggs if it means no one in my country goes hungry tonight. I am willing to pay more for my eggs if it means everybody can have an egg. But they really don't care. And I am heartbroken that so many in my country don't care. That so many won't go love their neighbor. But I want to thank those of you who are. You're the ones keeping me going. Go love your neighbor.
MAGA voters had plenty of warnings. Trump's a classic con artist, the kind of guy who'd slap a price tag on empty air and call it Patriot Breeze. But did they pay attention? Not a chance. They gobbled up the outrage, the slogans, and the endless promises like it was an all-you-can-eat buffet of political fantasy
Hi, MAGA voters. How you doing? Just want to give your guy Trump a quick performance review. So far, he has cratered the economy with his approach to tariffs. He's been deporting people at a rate slower than Joe Biden was deporting people. He has failed to end the conflict in Ukraine despite promising to do so in 24 hours. And inflation is at the same rate it was when Joe Biden left office because he lied to your face about inflation being high. Okay, have a good day. We have 46 months left in Donald Trump's second term, and I think the biggest question we should ask ourselves is how far are Republicans willing to let him go? Because in the 2 months we've had so far, he has challenged the Constitution over and over and over again, and in the past couple weeks, it has really ramped up. He's ignored federal court orders and proven there really isn't a strong mechanism to punish him for doing that. He's claiming that Joe Biden's pardons are void because without evidence, he says that Joe Biden was unaware of who he was pardoning. And he's attempted to deport people who were here legally by revoking their legal status, like Mahmoud Khalil, and that is blatantly unconstitutional. 46 more months. And it's going to escalate, and Republicans are going to be faced with a very difficult question of what do you value more, Trump or the Constitution? But the very important question is, how far does Trump have to go to get those Republicans who would value the Constitution over him to turn their back on Donald Trump? How far is too far? That's going to be the most important question. How far can Trump go? And I am not looking forward to finding out the answer to that question because I don't think we're anywhere near it now, and we're already pretty damn close to a constitutional crisis.
The same folks who proudly shouted, "Make America Great Again," are now waking up to the harsh reality. They signed up for a first-class ride straight into economic chaos and international embarrassment. Prices are soaring, jobs are disappearing, and the stock market is more unpredictable than a toddler on a sugar rush. Meanwhile, our allies are watching us the same way you'd watch a friend who keeps running back to their toxic ex, hoping this time will be different. But hey, at least there's a bit of irony here. The people who swore Trump would fix everything are now realizing they got scammed harder than someone wiring money to a Nigerian prince.
Somebody, please explain to me, who raised these people? What the fuck is wrong with them?
We are huge Trump supporters. If you didn't get the email on Monday, you're safe. And I'm like skipping down the halls, right? Like, I get to stay. Wednesday, late afternoon, I received a notice that I have an appointment, a Teams appointment with my supervisor on Friday at 9:00. So I knew that I wasn't safe anymore.
You were skipping down the hall. You were so excited when you thought you were safe. You knew others were suffering and gonna suffer, but you knew you were safe. You were cool with it.
Cutting costs and waste and fraud and. We love that big picture. I love that big picture. My friends, we were excited about that because it is true.
I could just picture you and your friends, glasses of cheap fucking wine, just laughing over others and how others are going to get affected.
The common theme is, we voted for this. You knew this was coming, but we didn't. Like, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives, but other people that we love and care about too within the Mid-Ohio Valley.
There it is. It's only when you're affected that you actually feel bad about something. You don't have any regrets for everyone else. It's that you got affected. You're despicable. You're disgusting. How does it feel?
It's hard. It's wrecking.
Good.
Their so-called hero isn't draining the swamp. He's redecorating it with gold-plated toilets and handing out tax cuts like party favors for billionaires. And the best part? Even the die-hard Fox News crowd, the ones who defend Trump if he tried to ban ice cream, are starting to have doubts. Some are awkwardly mumbling, "Maybe we got played," while others are clutching their "Let's go Brandon" flags like security blankets, trying to hold back the tears. So, what happens next? Well, we warned them. We spelled it out. And now the whole country is watching as MAGA voters get hit with the hardest lesson of their lives. The silver lining? Maybe, just maybe, they'll think twice before falling for another political con artist. The downside? We're all stuck on this sinking ship together. So strap in, America. It's about to get even bumpier.
Donald Trump is now calling for the impeachment of Judge James Boasberg, the federal judge who ruled against the Trump administration under the Alien Enemies Act case. Folks, this is the first time Donald Trump has directly called for the impeachment of a federal district court judge. And he's doing it because he doesn't agree with what Boasberg's ruling is, even though Boasberg's ruling is in line with longstanding federal law. In a new Truth Social post, Trump writes, quote, "I'm just doing what the voters wanted me to do. This judge, like many of the crooked judges I am forced to appear before, should be impeached." Now that Donald Trump has called for the impeachment of a federal judge, expect articles of impeachment to be filed in the House of Representatives. To impeach a federal judge, you need a majority in the House and 2/3 to remove him in the Senate. You're never going to get that in the Senate, but Republicans do have a majority in the House. And if Trump pushes on them, well, this could be the start of something very dangerous in America.
I've been in Spokane for 39 years from New Jersey. I've never been involved in politics before, but this is getting really scary. Okay? So the things that frighten me is the way this insane president talks about Canada as a 51st state. Taking Panama by force and buying Greenland. How does this person qualify as sane? Why is he not being impeached right now?
Thank you.
Recent focus groups in key swing states like Michigan reveal a growing sense of regret among former Trump supporters. Many are now questioning his aggressive tariff policies and the damage they could do to local economies. One voter summed it up perfectly. He made everything sound so bright during his campaign, but now I'm scared for my future. This shift in sentiment reflects a larger trend among working-class Americans who once believed Trump's economic policies would work in their favor. But just 2 months into his second term, reality is hitting hard. The economy, once his strongest selling point, has become a major headache. Jobs are disappearing, inflation is creeping up, and small businesses, already struggling, are getting hammered by chaotic policies. Industries that rely on stable trade agreements are especially feeling the strain. Trump's tariffs, meant to hit foreign economies, are instead backfiring, driving up costs for American consumers and businesses. Meanwhile, his America First stance, once seen as a sign of strength, is now being criticized as reckless isolationism. The fallout is global. Longtime allies like Canada, Germany, and Japan are rethinking their relationships with the US, and some are strengthening ties with China and the European Union instead. NATO partners are questioning America's reliability, and trade agreements that once benefited the US are now up in the air. Even some of Trump's strongest supporters are beginning to see the cost of alienating allies, affecting national security, trade, and even travel. So where does that leave the MAGA crowd? Some remain fiercely loyal, convinced that the chaos is just part of Trump's master plan to restore American dominance. But others are starting to regret their choice, realizing that tough talk doesn't always translate to smart leadership. The big question now, does this growing doubt signal a shift in the next election? Or will his base stick with him, convinced that the storm will pass? Let us know what you think in the comments. Are MAGA voters finally waking up, or is this just a moment of frustration?